Time to piss off the sensitive herd with this shit. The failures of censorship and why censorship is not a solution. It only makes matters worse.
The failures of censorship usually fall into a few big categories, and they tend to repeat across history, governments, corporations, and online platforms. Here's a breakdown. 1. The Streisand effect. When trying to hide something makes it more popular. Example, a photo, video, or article gets banned, and suddenly it's everywhere because people want to know what was too dangerous to see. The act of censorship becomes the best advertisement for the censored material. 2. Backfire through distrust. Overzealous moderation breeds suspicion. People start assuming everything that's hidden must be true, even if it isn't. This fuels conspiracy theories and undermines trust in the censoring authority. 3. Information routing around censorship. People find new platforms, code words, memes, or even physical distribution to bypass blocks. Technology almost always evolves faster than the censors can adapt. Classic case, underground printing presses in authoritarian regimes or coded TikTok trends today. 4. Collateral damage. Censorship often sweeps up harmless or unrelated content. Innocent people and legitimate information get erased in the crossfire. Example, automated filters taking down educational videos because they contain prohibited keywords. 5. Cultural pushback. Censorship can galvanize art, comedy, and underground movements. When you silence one voice, sometimes 10 more pop up, louder and more creative than before.
You chop off the head of a hydra. 2 more takes its place. Hell Hydra!
6. False sense of control. Authorities believe they've solved the problem because they hid it from view. But censorship rarely addresses the cause, so the underlying issue festers and often explodes later. If you want, I can give you real-world historical examples where censorship failed spectacularly and actually strengthened the very thing it tried to suppress.
Let's keep going. Give us more reasons as above of why censorship is not a solution.
Here's a deeper list expanding on why censorship is almost never a real solution. It tends to treat symptoms, not causes, and often makes things worse. 7. Drives ideas underground where they can't be challenged. Open debate lets bad ideas get exposed and dismantled. Censorship hides them in echo chambers where they grow unchecked and radicalize further. 8. Creates martyrs. Silencing a voice can turn that person or group into a symbol of truth suppressed. Followers rally harder behind them, often out of defiance rather than reason. 9. Shifts the narrative from content to freedom. Once something is censored, people stop debating whether it's true or false. They argue about the right to say it. The original problem gets overshadowed by outrage over the suppression itself. 10. Censors are fallible and biased. Whoever controls the censorship decides what is acceptable, and their decisions are influenced by politics, money, or personal views. This means truth can be silenced while lies are promoted, depending on who's in power. 11. It's impossible to apply fairly and consistently. Different groups interpret harm or danger differently. What gets censored today might be celebrated tomorrow, and vice versa. 12. Slippery slope to broader suppression. Once censorship is accepted in one area for safety, it expands into other areas. Each new justification makes it harder to resist further restrictions. 13. Speech is a pressure valve. Letting people express grievances openly can prevent unrest. If speech is restricted, resentment builds until it bursts in unpredictable, sometimes violent ways. 14. Reality always leaks out. In the age of screenshots, VPNs, and file sharing, information is nearly impossible to fully erase. Trying to suppress it just delays the inevitable and makes the eventual reveal more shocking. 15. Censorship often misses the real target. The real problem might be economic hardship, corruption, inequality, or injustice. Silencing discussion doesn't fix those. It just hides the warning signs until they're too big to ignore. If you'd like, I can give you a chronological history of major censorship attempts that backfired, from ancient empires to modern social media bans, to show how this pattern repeats. That would make the case even stronger.
Ooh, I know this shit is making those pro-censorship retarded fucks hurt right now. But the truth is the truth. Truth is the truth. In fact, it's time for a history lesson.
All right, let's open the history book and look at some of the most famous cases where censorship not only failed, but backfired so hard it made the thing being censored far more influential. 1. The trial of Socrates, 399 BCE. What happened? Athens put Socrates on trial for corrupting the youth with his questions and criticism of authority. The goal, silence his ideas and influence. The result, Socrates' execution turned him into a martyr for free thought, and his philosophy spread through his students like Plato, shaping Western thought for millennia. Chart 2, the Index of Forbidden Books, 1559 to 1966. What happened? The Catholic Church banned books considered dangerous to faith or morals, including works by Galileo, Descartes, and Copernicus. The goal, prevent heretical or scientific ideas from spreading. The result, scholars and readers sought them out precisely because they were forbidden, and the banned ideas ended up fueling the Renaissance and Enlightenment. 3. The censorship of Martin Luther, 1517-1521. What happened? Luther's writings criticizing church corruption were banned, and he was excommunicated. The goal, stop the Protestant Reformation before it gained traction. The result, printing presses smuggled his works across Europe, and censorship only fueled anger, leading to a full-scale religious revolution. 4. Victorian moral censorship, 1800s. What happened? Strict laws in England banned obscene literature, including works that discuss sexuality, politics, or social issues. The goal, preserve moral purity. The result, underground publishing boomed, and some authors, like Oscar Wilde, became cultural icons because they were targeted. 5. The banning of Uncle Tom's Cabin, 1850s, U.S. South. What happened? Harriet Beecher Stowe's anti-slavery novel was banned in much of the South. The goal, prevent anti-slavery sentiment from spreading. The result, the ban made the book a must-read in the North and Europe, fueling abolitionist movements. 6. Soviet censorship of dissidents, 20th century. What happened? The USSR heavily censored writers like Alexander Solzhenitsyn, whose book The Gulag Archipelago exposed Soviet prison camps. The goal, keep Soviet atrocities secret. The result, copies were smuggled abroad, and the book's global impact damaged the USSR's reputation and became a key ideological blow in the Cold War. 7. The ban of the Satanic Verses, 1989. What happened? Salman Rushdie's novel sparked outrage in some Muslim-majority countries and was banned in several nations. The goal, erase the book and its perceived offense. The result, it became an international bestseller, with the controversy turning it into a symbol of free expression. 8. The Streisand effect in the Internet age, 2003 present. What happened? Barbra Streisand tried to suppress aerial photos of her house. The lawsuit made the images world famous. The goal, hide a specific piece of information. The result, in the digital era, attempts to censor often guarantee the opposite. Social media spreads it instantly. If you want, I can connect these cases to the modern social media censorship wars, so you can see the same cycle playing out right now. It's practically history repeating in real time.
Those who don't learn from past mistakes are doomed to repeat it. So let's continue.
Let's carry the lesson forward into the modern era, because the same censorship backlash cycle is alive and well. Only now it happens faster and louder thanks to the internet. 9. The Arab Spring and social media blocks, 2010-2012. What happened? Governments in Egypt, Tunisia, and other countries tried cutting off Facebook, Twitter, and the internet to stop protests. The goal, disrupt communication and prevent organizing. The result, people found workarounds, VPNs, proxy servers, and the blackout itself became an international story, drawing more attention and sympathy to the protesters' cause. 10. China's Great Firewall and Tiananmen Memory. What happened? The Chinese government has censored all discussion and images of the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre. The goal, erase the event from public memory. The result, While younger generations in China may not know the details, the censorship itself is a rallying point for dissidents abroad, and banned images like Tank Man have become global icons of defiance. 11. The Napalm Girl Facebook ban, 2016. What happened? Facebook removed the Pulitzer Prize-winning Vietnam War photo of a naked girl fleeing a napalm attack, citing nudity policy. The goal, apply blanket rules against explicit content. The result, outcry from journalists, historians, and the public forced Facebook to reverse the ban, and the image gained renewed visibility. 12. COVID-19 content removal, 2020 to 2022. What happened? Platforms removed or labeled huge amounts of COVID-related posts, including some that later proved accurate or worth debating. The goal, stop harmful misinformation. The result, many lost trust in fact-checkers and migrated to alternative platforms where more extreme misinformation spread with even less moderation. 13. Twitter bans and the martyr effect, various years. What happened? High-profile bans, e.g. political figures, controversial journalists, comedians, were intended to curb harmful speech. The goal? Remove a disruptive voice from the public square. The result? Followers often doubled down, moving to rival platforms, fundraising for the banned figure, and framing them as victims of political bias. 14. TikTok censorship of sensitive topics. What happened? Reports revealed TikTok quietly suppressed videos on issues like Hong Kong protests or Uyghur rights. The goal, avoid political controversy in certain regions. The result, the leaked policies caused global backlash and investigations, ironically spreading the suppressed topics even more. 15. Meme censorship in Russia and the Putin riding a bear effect. What happened? Russia banned satirical memes of politicians. The goal, protect political dignity. The result, the ban became its own meme and political satire flourished underground and abroad. If you want, I can now summarize all these lessons into one clear principle that explains why censorship, no matter the era, almost always ends up hurting the censor more than the censored. That would tie together the ancient, historical, and modern examples into a single takeaway.
Come on. And as I said before, those who don't learn from past mistakes are doomed to repeat it, because now you see these same retarded fucks steady trying to repeat the same mistake over again, expecting a different result. Censorship does not make the problem go away. It only makes the problem worse instead of better. Censorship won't get rid of the fucking problem. And oftentimes, not only does it backfire, but it also has a reverse effect. And this is why I'm anti-censorship. Shoot, you got cats on YouTube getting their channels terminated only to come back on YouTube unchecked. And this is the reason why I say censorship is not a solution. And the fact that even throughout history, they try so hard to silence and suppress, to the point to where what they think would happen doesn't happen at all. This is the reason why when you got these retarded fucks trying to ban these male spaces, but yet they don't understand why it doesn't work. Silencing your opposition is not going to get rid of your opposition. And until these retarded fucks get a better understanding of that, they're going to continue making those same mistakes, expecting a different result, only to get disappointed in the end and start whining, crying, bitching, and complaining about it afterwards. But everything has been said. I'm done, and I'm out this bitch. Later.